I feel like everyone falls into one of two categories. Category number one, mysterious, unknown. Category number two, super open, super honest, super vulnerable. Obviously, there are different levels to these personality traits, but I feel like almost everyone falls into one of the two of those categories. I personally fall into the category of being super open, super honest, super vulnerable. That's me. And I've learned to appreciate this personality trait. I've learned to see it as a positive thing. But because I'm living this personality trait, I'm very, very aware of the challenges that come with it. For example, I'm prone to oversharing, especially when I consume alcohol. My last episode was entirely about this. The episode is called Am I Oversharing? Go check it out if you want. Through the years, I've gotten better about making this personality trait a positive thing for me, because for a long time, I think this trait manifested in me oversharing. And subconsciously over time, it's gotten much better. And I've been able to sort of control it so that its impact is more positive for myself and for the people around me. Though I still occasionally overshare. And even though I have a good relationship with this personality trait, I still wish sometimes that I was mysterious. I wish I was that type of person. And it's one of those things where it's like the grass is always greener. You know, there are probably a lot of people who are more mysterious by nature who wish that they were more open and honest and vulnerable. There are a lot of challenges that come with being mysterious as well. But I'm not as aware of those because I'm not mysterious. I could not be less of a mysterious person. But I think what makes me wish I was mysterious was the overall vibe that mysterious people put out. Mysterious people tend to seem cooler. And I think the reason for that is that you're able to sort of project your ideas of what they might be onto them because they're not giving you that answer. Somebody who's super open and honest is literally telling you and showing you exactly who they are. So you don't have the space to imagine what they are. They're giving it to you. People who are mysterious are somewhat of a blank canvas. They're not giving you a lot of information about themselves, so you can paint a picture of who they are. And a lot of times, the picture that you're going to paint is going to be way cooler than they probably really are. So I think mysterious people are able to create the illusion that they're cooler much easier because they're giving you the opportunity to fill in those blanks. On top of that, mysterious people are protected and safe in a way that I somewhat envy. I love being open and honest and vulnerable because it allows me to connect with other people and feel close to other people and make other people feel comfortable and create more friendships and create more relationships. But at the same time, I sometimes find myself really overwhelmed by the fact that, wow, everyone knows a lot about me. You know, like so many people know a lot about me, you know, in real life and online. I am not a mystery. Everyone knows who I am, and everyone knows a lot of intimate details about me and my life. So I have moments where I feel super exposed and I'm like stressed out and overwhelmed by the fact that there's almost no information that's completely just mine. Everyone knows so much about me. Mysterious people are the opposite. You know, they keep all of their information close to heart, and they never find themselves in a place where they're like, oh my God, everyone knows so much about me. Like, they don't have that crisis. And I envy that when I'm in a moment of crisis. I also envy mysterious people because they're sort of addicting. Let me explain. And you might disagree, but in my experience, mysterious people are addicting because you constantly are trying to figure out who they are. You're constantly trying to crack them, figure out what's inside, because you have your ideas about who they are, but you still have this desire to figure them out. And they're like a puzzle that you can't solve. So you never get bored. I mean, eventually you might get bored, but there's something so intriguing and captivating about a mysterious person because they are an unsolvable puzzle. And that effect that they have on people is so enviable to me sometimes, because I'm like, oh my God, nobody is ever laying awake at night staring at the ceiling being like, oh, I just need to figure her out. No one has to figure me out. I'm giving all the information you could ever want on a silver platter. You don't have to read between the lines to be like, is she seriously really sensitive in there? No, you already know how sensitive I am, how I think about the world, my opinions on everything. Like it's all out there. It's all out there. And I don't know if that makes people bored of me, but I think people are less obsessed with trying to figure me out. So all of that to say, I envy mysterious people a little bit. And every once in a while, I have a thought where I'm like, should I work on being more mysterious? Would that benefit me in some way? And as I've been thinking recently about this open, vulnerable, honest side of my personality, this has come back up for me. And so today, I wanted to sort of figure out whether or not I should try to be more mysterious. Listen, spoiler alert, I don't think it's going to happen, but let's go down the rabbit hole anyway and see what we find. Let's discuss the reality of being mysterious. Because when I look at people who are mysterious, I have rose-colored glasses on. I see it as such a cool, hot lifestyle. But I've yet to sort of read between the lines and really think about what it would be like to be a mysterious person. And so we need to investigate. We've already touched on this, but because people don't know a lot about mysterious people, people are forced to fill in the gaps to try to figure out who the mysterious person really is. And I think that this can be a good thing in the beginning of a friendship or a relationship, because the person who's experiencing the mysterious person is using their imagination to figure out who the mysterious person is. And they're probably filling in the gaps in a much more flattering way than reality would provide. So I think in a lot of ways, being mysterious is attractive. Now, is it attractive in a way that's rooted in reality? No, but it's getting someone in the door. It's getting someone interested in you. And arguably that's a good thing, whether or not it's rooted in reality, because hopefully people get to know you and then they're like, oh my God, you were so mysterious and cool in the beginning, but now that I've started to see the real you, I really actually like you. So that could be a good thing. I will say, when it comes to dating, I love a mysterious guy. And my irrational brain, the irrational side of my brain, tends to be the one who's the most active during dating. There's just something hot about somebody who's mysterious to me. I love being able to project my idea of the perfect guy onto this mysterious man who maybe is hot to me, physically. Not the healthiest method of dating. Deep down, the rational side of my brain knows this is all a silly little illusion, but the irrational side of my brain is louder, and I tend to choose mysterious guys. I also think that mysterious people get thought about more. And the more that you think about somebody, the more that you sort of care about them. So I feel like mysterious people can really infect the minds of people in a way that makes them more infectious at times. And again, that can be good for building a social circle. When you're constantly on people's minds because they're trying to figure you out, chances are they're going to want to hang out with you more, be around you more, because they're trying to figure you out. Or they've projected this idea of what they want you to be onto you, and then they want to be around that person that may not even necessarily be real. But again, who cares? Because it's helpful, I guess, in social situations for the mysterious person, regardless of if it's rooted in reality or not. Now, people not fully knowing you can very quickly turn sour. It can be bad when the illusion of mystery wears off and the mysterious person becomes a bit more vulnerable, a bit more themselves, and they may not live up to the expectation or the illusion that people had about them. Now, expectations and illusions about others are usually not accurate. They're almost never accurate. Actually, I can't name one time I've ever expected somebody to be a certain way and then they've been that. And a lot of times people can still be great, but they're not what you thought. So, it can be disappointing even if the person that you were making up illusions about is still great in a lot of ways. They just might not be what you imagined, and that can be disappointing. Whereas if you would have seen who the person really was from the beginning, you would have been like, oh, I like this person for what they're showing me right now. And you wouldn't have had the space to make up an idea of who they are. And so maybe it would be easier to accept them for who they really are from the beginning, from the get-go, because there's no jarring shift in identity. Mysterious people protect themselves from vulnerability. This can be good because mysterious people can protect the soft sides of themselves and only share those sides of themselves with people who really have earned it. Whereas somebody who's more open and honest and whatever, they're just sharing it with everyone. They're not protecting it for themselves. A mysterious person's default is to hold that all inside, protect that all inside. And so they have to make a conscious effort to share a vulnerable side of themselves with people. And naturally, they're just going to be more selective with who they share that side of themselves with. And I think in some ways, that's a superpower, naturally being inclined to be more selective about who you're vulnerable with. I see value in that. I kind of envy that. I also think being a mysterious person attracts more surface level conversations. Somebody who's super open and honest and vulnerable are probably going to have more open and honest and vulnerable conversations. Somebody who's more mysterious is not going to invite those type of conversations. And if you're someone who doesn't like to be vulnerable, then your mysteriousness can sort of act as a shield to prevent those conversations from happening. Because I'll tell you, mysterious people can really intimidate me. And I'm not inspired to be vulnerable around them because I almost don't feel safe to, because I'm like, this person is so protective of themselves. They're so mysterious. They're not showing me any softness at all. So I don't feel automatically safe to just be myself in that way. Mysterious people are very protected from vulnerability in most scenarios. And they have to make the conscious effort to go and be vulnerable. And I think that that can be good as long as there's still some vulnerability happening in life. But I think that it can get bad when you're not making any deep connections with others because you're so mysterious and you're so locked up that you never have a conversation with others that goes below surface level. And you become so comfortable in your little protective bubble that you're kind of alone. And that's not necessarily good. You may also find that long term, you have less friendships and relationships, possibly, because the way that you take friendships and relationships to the next level is by getting progressively more vulnerable and showing more and more sides of yourself. And if you're mysterious, you might never take it to the next level. And a lot of people might not feel connected. And so then they might be like, I don't know if I want to be in this relationship anymore because this person's so mysterious. I just can't even connect with them. And I think that this can also be challenging for people who are trying to be more mysterious, but they're not naturally, because there are a lot of people who are just naturally inclined to be super vulnerable, myself included. It's painful for me to suppress that side of myself. It's uncomfortable for me. It makes me feel like I'm not being myself. I feel like I'm being myself when I'm being vulnerable. And at times when I've tried to be more mysterious for like 24 hours here, 24 hours there, I felt really fake almost. Like, this is not me, Mysterious people also rarely speak about themselves. Now, this can be positive because it can leave other people more room to share their stories, their perspectives. It gives the mysterious person more of an opportunity to learn about other people, which can be interesting and exciting. And it also gives the mysterious person more time to think about what they want to say about themselves. You know, if they center the conversation around the other person, they have more time to think in between about what they do want to share about themselves so they can be more intentional. But I think the problem with this is that nobody will really feel like they know you. And short term, that might be intriguing and fun and exciting. But long term, I think that can be really frustrating and even unsettling at times. We all have mysterious people in our lives where we're like, who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? What is going on inside of that brain? Who are you? You know, those people that just give you one word answers like about everything. It's like, how was your day? It was good. How was your day? And then it's never about them ever. And you're like, wait, but who are you? Like, I've had friends for years that refused to open up to me. And I got to a point where I was like, oh my God, years have gone by and I still don't know you. And that's such an unsettling feeling for me that I can't do it.